From golf pros getting sabotaged by cocktail holders, to kids hijacking golf carts in the middle of tournaments. 2025 gave us golf chaos like we've never seen before. But nope, every single one of these actually happened. These are the dumbest golf moments that happened in 2025. And we're with something that sounds completely made up but is 100% real. Quail Hollow 2025. The PGA Championship. Max Homa is grinding his way through a brutal final round, trying to make something happen on one of golf's toughest tracks. Then comes the 18th hole. His drive leaks right, drifting into the trees and settling into a bed of pine straw. Nothing unusual there, it's the PGA Championship after all. But when Homa arrives at his ball, something immediately feels off. It's not just sitting in the rough, it's nestled in what looks like a small, perfectly circular divot carved into the straw. Turns out, a fan sitting by the 18th fairway had made themselves comfortable during the round. They'd fashioned a little nest out of the pine straw so their transfusion drink wouldn't tip over on the slope. Just a casual DIY cup holder to keep their cocktail steady while watching golf. The fan later confessed on Instagram, Max Homa's drive landed in my drink spot and he had a terrible lie for his second shot. The look on his face hurt my heart. Homa stares down at his ball sitting in this makeshift cocktail crater. No clean contact available, no real shot to speak of. He does what he can, scrambles hard, and walks away with a bogey, shaking his head at the absurdity. A cocktail cup holder turned hazard, only in golf. Next up, and this could have been the worst accident in golf history, the Phoenix Open, a tournament already famous for its wild, party-like atmosphere at TPC Scottsdale. But on this sunny afternoon, the chaos wasn't coming from rowdy fans at the 16th hole. No, it was coming from something far more unexpected. It started innocently enough. Spectators enjoying the warm weather, strolling between holes, soaking in the Arizona sun. Then, out of nowhere, a golf cart appeared, weaving erratically through the crowd. At the wheel, a kid who looked barely tall enough to see over the steering column, let alone control a motorized vehicle. What happened next was like watching a scene from a comedy movie, except it was terrifyingly real. The young driver had somehow gained control of an unattended golf cart and was zigzagging through the tournament grounds like a pinball. Spectators scattered in every direction, diving out of the way as the cart zoomed unpredictably through the crowd. Security, who are usually ready for anything but probably not for this exact scenario, scrambled to catch up. People shouting, cameras capturing the whole thing. The cart careening between ropes and patrons. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Moving right along, we've got a moment that left golf Twitter absolutely melting down. The 2025 PGA Works Collegiate Championship at Whistling Straits. And what happened on this putting green? It broke every unspoken rule in the gentleman's game. On most days, the green is a place of focus. Players read putts, trust their lines, and let the moment breathe. But on this particular day, one player turned the putting green into a complete battlefield. The scene starts off normal enough. A group of players is finishing up, chatting casually. But then something strange happens. One golfer lines up her short putt, and another player casually steps right into her line. Not once, but twice. Full stride, like she's walking through a shopping mall. She even pauses, looks down, and steps directly over the line again, right as the player's about to putt. The video exploded on social media. Golf fans went into full meltdown mode. Is she mocking her? Does she not know the golden rule? Some speculated she was measuring something. Others said it was a warm-up routine gone wrong. But honestly, this looked more like a passive-aggressive protest in a game built on etiquette and unspoken respect. Stepping on someone's putting line isn't just rude. It's borderline sacrilege. Next up, and it looked like the perfect drive. Center cut. No trees, no trouble. But what happened next? That's when things got weird. We're on the 8th hole at Quail Hollow, second round of the 2025 PGA Championship. Shane Lowry strolls up to his ball expecting a clean lie, but instead he finds it buried deep in the ground. Not just a bad bounce. This thing is wedged in an old pitch mark. Someone else is. And that one detail changes everything. By rule, he can't take relief unless the ball plugged into his own pitch mark. So he calls in a rules official, trying to get clarification. But just as the discussion begins, bam! An ESPN on-course reporter chimes in loud enough for everyone to hear. That's not your pitch mark. Lowry didn't ask. He didn't want commentary. And just like that, you could see something shift in his face. Like someone had just poured gasoline on a flickering flame. His next shot? Chunked into a greenside bunker. Then comes the explosion. He slams his club into the ground, rips up a chunk of turf, storms toward the green, and as he walks off, cameras catch him yelling, "Fuck this place!" Lowry later admitted it wasn't the ruling that broke him. It was the broadcast guy stepping in at the worst possible moment. A mental grenade in the middle of a major. The bogey dropped him outside the cut line, sliding into the next spot with something that proves sometimes the course itself is the enemy. The NAIA Women's National Championship in Ypsilanti, Michigan, Eagle Crest Golf Club, and organizers are about to create absolute carnage with one monumentally stupid decision. It's the par 5 fifth hole, and someone decided it would be a brilliant idea to place the pin on an extremely steep, slippery section of the green. Not just challenging, not just tricky. Legitimately unfair. What happened next was predictable chaos. Players hit quality approach shots, watched their balls land on the green, and then watched in horror as those same balls rolled right back off. Again and again. Well-struck putts? Forget it. They'd catch the slope and just keep rolling, tumbling off the putting surface like they were on a ski slope. The scores were absolutely brutal. Double bogeys became the norm. Triple bogeys showed up constantly. And then came the 7s, 8s, even a acceptable bogey. Players were getting absolutely destroyed by a pin placement that never should have existed. 90 of the 156 players in the field were affected by this nightmare hole. 90. More than half the entire championship field got absolutely hammered by one ridiculous decision. The NAIA had no choice but to issue a formal apology, acknowledging the hole was incorrectly placed and promising to prevent such disasters in future events. When the venue defeats 90 players in a national championship, someone seriously messed up. Coming up next, where an American dream died in a back pocket over lunch. Nick Barrett, a 31-year-old UPS driver from Maryland, is living every weekend golfer's fantasy. He's at Woodmont Country Club for the 2025 US Open final qualifying stage, and he just shot a promising 73 in the first round. Not bad for a guy who delivers packages for a living. He's in position. He's got a shot. The US Open is within reach. So Barrett heads to lunch, grabs a hot dog, relaxes for a bit, and enjoys the moment. Why not? He earned it. Then he stands up, feels his back pocket, and his entire world collapses. The scorecard, still there, unsigned, unsubmitted. I stood up after I had a hot dog or something at lunch, and I felt my back pocket. And I felt the scorecard in there, and as soon as I did that, my heart went straight to the bottom of my stomach. He rushes back to find the officials, but it's too late. About 20 minutes had passed. They'd already moved on. The window closed, and according to the rules, failure to submit your signed scorecard in time means automatic disqualification. His golf was solid. His dream was real. But the mistake happened off the course during lunch with a hot dog in his hand. On to the next one, and physics is about to reward the bold with pure chaos. The Tour Championship at East Lake, and the clock is ticking. Storm clouds are gathering over Atlanta, dark and menacing, threatening to shut everything down. Rory McIlroy stands in the bunker on 18, staring at what could be disaster. His playing partner, Scottie Scheffler, is already nervous. Not about the shot, about the weather. Time is running out, the horn could blow any second, suspending play for the day. McIlroy needs to get this ball somewhere, anywhere, fast. From 39 yards out with the pin tucked at the back, McIlroy faces a delicate bunker shot that requires precision. Instead, he catches it thin, really thin. The ball screams over the green like it was shot from a cannon, sailing toward the massive grandstand behind the 18th. Scheffler watches in horror. This is about to become a lengthy rules situation with drops and measurements. They'll never finish in time. Then, physics intervenes in the most beautiful way. The ball crashes into the grandstand with a booming thud that echoes around East Lake. But instead of disappearing into the seating area, it rebounds like a pinball machine gone wild. The ball bounces back onto the green, settling just 17 feet from the hole. I have never rooted so hard for somebody's ball to come back, Scheffler admitted later, still grinning at the absurdity. And then McIlroy drains the 17-footer for birdie. Next on our list, and this reminds us that someone is always watching, the DP World Tour's Nexo Championship at Trump International in Scotland. August 2025. Sam Bairstow is grinding through his opening round, trying to bounce back from a rough stretch. The 27-year-old Englishman is 3 under through 13 holes, in position to challenge the leaders. Then comes the 14th hole. His tee shot misses the fairway, landing in heavy rough on an embankment. As Bairstow addresses the ball, preparing to hit his second shot, something happens. The ball drops lower into the rough, just slightly. Bairstow steps away, talks to his caddy, then addresses the ball again and plays his shot. He continues on, 2 putts for what he thinks is a bogey 5. Signs his scorecard for a 1 over 73. But a fan in the gallery captured the entire sequence on video. And that fan sent it straight to DP World Tour officials. When they confronted him after the round with the video evidence, Bairstow initially denied any wrongdoing. But the footage was crystal clear. The ball had moved. He'd played from the new position without replacing it or taking a penalty. 2 strokes for not replacing the ball and playing from the wrong position. His bogey 5 became a 7. And since he'd already signed an incorrect scorecard, that meant disqualification. Bairstow withdrew from the tournament. But the story didn't end there. The video began circulating among players and caddies. 2 weeks later, the DP World Tour fined Bairstow £25,000, the tour maximum, for breaching the code of behavior. In his statement, Bairstow admitted, "I know I should have called a referee, and I really regret that I didn't." The camera never lies. Moving along, and we've got a situation that had everyone asking, what exactly counts as fixed? The Senior PGA Championship at Congressional Country Club in May, and Padraig Harrington is in the hunt. He's got a 1-shot lead heading to the 14th green in the final round, looking at a makeable birdie putt that could extend his advantage. Everything looks perfect, until he marks his ball and sees what's waiting between him and the hole. A noticeable mass of bird poop, right in his putting line. Now, Harrington knows the rules. He knows that animal droppings are typically considered loose impediments and can be cleared anywhere on the course. But this particular mass was different. It wasn't just sitting there on the surface, it was adhering to the green. Sticky, clinging to the grass. The rules of golf state in its definition of loose impediments that natural objects can't be growing or fixed. So the question becomes, do sticky bird droppings qualify as fixed? Harrington calls over an official. They examine the situation. They debate the definition. And fortunately for Harrington, the answer is no. The droppings aren't considered fixed. He's allowed to clear them from his line. He gets the pile out of his way, steps up to the 30-footer, and drains it for birdie. Sometimes the strangest obstacles lead to the best moments. And sometimes you just need a rules official to confirm that yes, you can remove the bird poop. On to the next chapter, where tensions boiled over at the Ryder Cup in the worst possible way. The Ryder Cup has always been intense. Emotions run high. National pride is on the line. Players are representing their countries, their continents, and every shot feels magnified under that kind of pressure. But what happened between Justin Rose and Bryson DeChambeau's caddy crossed a line that nobody expected to see crossed. The confrontation erupted during one of the matches, with both sides already on edge from the week's mounting tension. Words were exchanged, voices were raised, and what started as a verbal disagreement quickly escalated into something physical. Rose, the veteran Englishman known for his calm demeanor and sportsmanship, found himself in an altercation that nobody saw coming. Bryson's caddy, defending his player and his team, pushed back just as hard. Officials had to step in. Players had to separate them. The whole thing played out in front of cameras and thousands of spectators who couldn't believe what they were witnessing. The Ryder Cup is supposed to be about competition, camaraderie, and respect. But on this day, all 3 of those things broke down completely. When team competition brings out the worst instead of the best, something has gone seriously wrong. And this moment became one of the most uncomfortable scenes in Ryder Cup history. Breaking into the next spot, where a Masters debut became the stuff of nightmares. Nick Dunlap, the 21-year-old phenom who'd already made history as the first amateur to win on the PGA Tour since Phil Mickelson in 1991, was heading to Augusta National with massive expectations. This kid had proven himself. 2 PGA Tour wins already. One of golf's hottest prospects with junior achievements rivaling Tiger Woods and Mickelson. And now he was getting his second shot at the Masters after missing the cut in his debut the previous year. It should have been redemption, a chance to show what he could really do. Instead, Thursday at Augusta turned into an absolute disaster. Dunlap shot an 18-over par 90, 9s of 43 and 47, 1 triple bogey, 4 double bogeys, 7 bogeys. The worst first-round score at the Masters since Ben Crenshaw shot 91 back in 2015. His 90 was 16 shots worse than the next closest score that day. After the round, Dunlap retreated to his rental house, no longer embarrassed or angry, just deeply disappointed. He sent his trainer to Target to buy out the sporting goods section. "Grab all the balls you can find," he told him. Then he went into the backyard and laced shot after shot into the woods, searching for answers that weren't coming. He briefly considered withdrawing. But Dunlap's never quit anything in his life, and he wasn't about to start at Augusta National. Friday brought the biggest round-around turnaround at the Masters since 1936. He shot 1 under par 71, improving by 19 shots. But it wasn't enough. Next up, and this might be the most painful way to miss a cut ever recorded, Sepp Straka is grinding through his second round, and the Austrian had struggled to a 78 in the opening round. Not great, but Friday brought hope. 6 birdies against just 1 bogey had him clawing back into position. He's standing at 1 over par with 2 holes to play. The projected cut line is sitting right there within reach. A par and a bogey would do it. Maybe even 2 bogeys if he's lucky. The 17th hole goes about as expected. He finds the trees off the tee, has to chip out, fails to get up and down from 127 yards. Bogey. Okay, not ideal, but manageable. That leaves him at 2 over as he arrives at the 18th tee, sitting right on the projected cut line. He needs a par to make the weekend. Just 1 more solid hole. Here's what happened next, and take a deep breath. Tee shot goes miles left into the trees, has to declare it unplayable, takes a penalty drop, chips it out, but into the trees on the opposite side of the fairway. Can only hit his 4th shot left of the green. Hits a chip that doesn't make the green, hits his 2nd chip close, taps in for a triple bogey 7. From making the weekend to complete meltdown in 1 hole. Just like that, his tournament was over. Next in line brings us a rules controversy that nearly sent the defending champion home early. The Mexico Open at Vedanta in February, and Jake Knapp is battling to make the cut. He's grinding, fighting for every shot, trying to defend his title and make it to the weekend. He gets to his final hole of the 2nd round, the 9th, and hits a bunker shot that doesn't make it out. The ball stays in the sand. Frustration boils over, and Knapp swipes the sand with his club. Almost immediately, officials hit him with a 2-stroke penalty for touching the sand in a bunker before making a stroke. Rule 12-2B. The decision puts Knapp outside the cut line and is about to send him home early. But then, something unusual happens. Someone asks for a second opinion. After reviewing what had transpired and confirming that Knapp had struck the sand in anger, the penalty was rescinded, completely reversed. Why? Because striking the sand in anger is actually one of the exceptions to the rule. You can't deliberately touch the sand to test the surface, but you absolutely can slam your club down in frustration. The reversal allowed Knapp to make the cut right on the number. His weekend survived because the rules for once actually worked in a player's favor. Next up, this is where frustration led to the most baffling decision of 2025, the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth, September. Marcel Siem is already having a nightmare season, and now he's grinding through an ugly opening round at 5 over. He arrives at the 18th hole. His tee shot pushes right into thick trees. Siem immediately thinks it's out of bounds, so he hits a provisional ball off the tee. But there were no out-of-bounds markers on the right. It was a water hazard. Siem didn't know that. As he's about to hit his 4th shot with the provisional, a spectator finds his original ball sitting under a branch near the water hazard. Not out of bounds, just in a terrible spot. Siem walks over, exhausted, looks at the ball wedged under the branch, and makes a catastrophic decision. Okay, this is unplayable. He picks up the original ball, walks back, and hits his 4th shot with a provisional. He finishes the hole with what he thinks is a bogey 6 and heads to the scoring tent. As he's about to sign his card, reality hits. "Guys, I don't think I made a 6. Let's call a referee." He explains what happened, realizes his mistake immediately. Once the original ball was found in play, he couldn't just declare it unplayable and continue with the provisional. Disqualification. Later that evening, Siem posted a video defending himself. I just wanted to let you know I didn't cheat. I would never do that. But the rules are clear. When your ball is found in play, the provisional is dead. Next up, there are a million ways to make par in a par 3. What's not on the list is, well, killing something. We're on the 12th tee at the U.S. Women's Open, Lancaster Country Club. ISI Gabsa is sitting at 2 over, staring down a par 3 that's been chewing players up all day. She takes her swing, smooth, balanced, and the ball launches on a perfect line, dead center, tracking the green the whole way, and then, wait, what is... Oh no, the ball drops out of the sky and hammers a bird that was just sitting on the green, completely unaware. A split second. A thud you can't unhear. The bird collapses instantly, motionless, while the ball ricochets a few feet away like nothing happened. A rules official jogs in, crouches over the bird for maybe 2 seconds, then quietly picks it up and carries it off the green like this is somehow normal? Meanwhile, Gabsa walks up with the body language of someone who's not sure whether to apologize, laugh, or look away forever. She still has to putt. 21 feet. 2 solid rolls, and somehow she makes par. One of the very few on that hole all day. But she'll forever be remembered as the golfer who killed a bird at the U.S. Women's Open. Alright, so there are golf meltdowns. And then there are the ones where you miss not 1, not 2, but 3 tap-ins. Cameron Young was about to find out which kind he was having on the 16th at Augusta. Young drove his tee shot 148 yards to the right of the green, straight into the crowd. Not ideal, but recoverable. He chipped on, leaving himself 12 feet for par. Still manageable. Then the collapse began. He missed the par putt, leaving himself what should have been a tap-in for bogey. The ball circled the cup but didn't fall. Another tap-in. He quickly lined up and hit it again. This one was even further off. Now he had a 3-footer. Young took a deep breath before finally sinking his 4th putt. 4 putts from 12 feet. Triple bogey 6. In an instant, he'd plummeted to 3 shots off the cut line with only 2 holes left. The nightmare didn't stop there. Young bogeyed both 17 and 18 to shoot 79 and missed the cut by 5. At the time of his meltdown, he was 2 over and inside the cut line. Within an hour, his Masters was over. Next up, there's being a passionate home crowd. And then there's becoming the story for all the wrong reasons. At the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black, comedian Heather McMahon grabbed the mic on the first tee and actually led the crowd in cursing at Rory McIlroy. Yes, over the loudspeakers to thousands of fans, including kids, at what's supposed to be golf's classiest team event. She stepped down and apologized later, but the damage was already done. The whole weekend turned into a mess for Team Europe. Every time McIlroy got ready to hit, people yelled at him. He had to back off shots again and again. Fans even shouted a reporter's name while he was putting, bringing up tabloid drama about his marriage. His partner, Shane Lowry, got hit with weight jokes. By Saturday afternoon, there were almost 20 New York State police officers lining the fairways just to keep things under control. Golf legends were furious. Former U.S. captain Tom Watson said he was ashamed. Gary Player called the whole thing disgusting and said the Ryder Cup was in shambles. Wondering what icons like Ben Hogan or Arnold Palmer would think, McIlroy also said that golf should be better than this, and what happened was completely unacceptable. Europe still won, but it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like a black eye for American golf, one that's not going away anytime soon.